Hello and happy new moon in Aries. Welcome in. So happy to see you all here. So happy to see some of you returning. And thank you so much for telling folks about the stream. I really, really appreciate that. Really, really appreciate it. Here, let me just turn the music down a bit. Wonderful. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start putting some of the crystals you requested. Those of you who might be new, hello, I'm Danielle from Learn Reiki Philadelphia. I've been teaching Reiki for about 13 years. You can find more about my live online Reiki classes, sessions, readings with me, as well as social media and all that good stuff in the description. You can also find the link for my crystal shop there. What else? Yeah, it's the new moon in Aries, and there's a lot of Chiron is featuring very prominently in this, and Chiron is all about the wounded healer. So it's going to be an intense 2 weeks. It's okay. I'm going to be here. We can all hang out. We can all get through this. And if you've never been here before, if you're live, go ahead and use the live chat to request any specific crystals for healing or any specific healing intention, and either way I'll choose some stones for the crystal grid on your behalf. If you are watching as a recording, distance Reiki works not only over a distance but over differences in time. So yeah, you can absolutely get the same healing if you're rewatching this or watching this at some point in the future. If you have any questions, go ahead and use the chat, or if you're watching this as a recording, go ahead and use the comments. And if you can, please like the stream. That actually helps people find out about us. And yeah, deeply appreciate all of you being here. So let's go ahead and dig in on building this grid. So requests for copper, red tiger eye, and malachite. You got it. So red tiger eye specifically. There we go. And I just had copper in my hand and I put it down. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and bounce over to the other camera view so that you can see the crystal grid as I build it. And I'll go through each crystal and what it can help with as we go. Okay, so here we go. Here's our blank slate, just a nice slice of natural wood. We've got around the edges here, we've got black tourmaline, which helps to keep negative and lower vibrational energy at bay, and Dalmatian jasper, which is excellent at clearing the aura. This has black tourmaline actually running through it. So yeah, and then it's running through the jasper. So yeah, so we've got that around. And so now we'll go ahead and we will add some copper, which really does a great job in helping to facilitate the movement of energy. It almost takes Reiki and things like it to another level. So we're going to go ahead and put some copper here, some copper here. Some red tiger eye. Red tiger eye is excellent for circulation and cardiac stuff, but it's also excellent for energetic protection and manifesting finances, manifesting money, especially if you need to do so fairly quickly or on short notice. So just do some of that. I build my grids intuitively. I almost like more of a mandala than a grid. And I feel like the intention you put into picking the crystals really helps to activate it. Let's see. Okay. And malachite. Malachite is a really great heart stone. It's really interesting that you requested malachite as well as copper. Malachite is actually mined very close to copper. So they're found in nature together, very close together. This is one that's excellent for the heart chakra, as you know, the green would suggest. It helps move energy through the heart. It's a deeply replenishing heart chakra stone. Lots of folks use it for other reasons, but it can also help us change and evolve and face change and evolution while replenishing our place of unconditional love for ourselves and others, as well as compassion for self and others. So yeah, anyone else have any requests for the crystal grid? Go ahead and use the chat feature to go ahead and request any specific healing or specific stone. More than happy to work with you either way. And this is a really intense new moon. I'm going to be recording something to like a recorded healing that'll help you with the challenges that these next 2 weeks will face. As the lunar energy works, like full moon and new moon, today is the new moon, and there is no moon that is visible in the sky. The times between those are waxing and waning. So basically, the full moon is the moon at its fullest. It's the brightest. It's the most energy. It's what pulls the tides up. From there until the moon gets smaller every day. And so that's what's known as a waning moon. It's getting smaller. From the new moon, where it's empty completely, to the full moon is known as a waxing or getting bigger. And so some serious manifestation energy every day. So that's kind of how they work together. Yes, I do have Amazonite. I'll happily bring some of that in. Healing old patterns. Yep, this is some serious Chiron healing. Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Healing old patterns. It's timely with the planetary alignments right now. And Amazonite, absolutely. Right here, actually. So the new moon, I usually use that for setting intentions, like planting seeds, and then each day as we go towards the full moon, it gets a little bigger and bigger and bigger. And I use the full moons to let go of energy. They're a little bit more volatile for manifesting and things like that, but also because the tide is up at its fullest and then it goes out, it's almost like whatever I'm getting ready to let go of and casting out goes to the full moon. But honestly, you can use either way. It's always a good time to let go of things that no longer serve. You don't have to wait to do it. And there's other things at play. So like I was mentioning, Chiron, it's the wounded healer. And that's a body in the sky that has us looking inward at our most painful wounds and starting to look at them, learn from them, and move on from them, like deeper personal healing. This here is Amazonite, which is wonderful for many things. Also really good heart chakra kind of stone and throat a little bit. Amazonite is one that I use for a number of things. I particularly use it for hospice type situations, or anytime that someone is working through death and rebirth, or even ego death and rebirth. Those kinds of patterns are what I mostly use it for. But it's also just excellent to fill in the cracks of a broken heart and replenish the heart chakra. Amazonite works very differently than malachite, but they do work together really well. So yes, we've got those. Thinking of what else? Healing old patterns. definitely know a couple of great stones for that. Gotcha. Receiving help, being heard, all that stuff. Healing old patterns. This is more about, this can really help. This is what's known as indigo gabbro. Actually, these stones. These two. Indigo gabbro can really help with revealing those detrimental tendencies, working them through and letting them go. Indigo gabbro also goes by the name Mystic Merlinite. It's a different stone than Merlinite, but it's sort of this purple and black, and it really helps us. It works with the intuitive center as well as very much the root chakra. It helps us to go into our shadow self and see what within us can really use that healing. So it reveals some detrimental tendencies. And additional healing old patterns. I'm going to keep thinking on that. And being heard. Definitely, I'm thinking more honey calcite now. There is a lot moving in this planetary cycle between being heard, setting boundaries, big time setting boundaries. That's going to be a carnelian thing, and I'll add that in too. But honey calcite will really help to balance your solar plexus and the sacral. And that's a lot of the themes that we're seeing right now. So sacral chakra and all those types of things, that's how we relate to the community around us. That's our place in society, as it were, our place in the group. And then the solar plexus is more who am I, and your will and asserting yourself, and your self-identity and your needs, what motivates you. So this is a stone that really helps with both of those and with bringing them both into balance. It can really help with setting those boundaries, getting to know ourselves, getting to respect ourselves a little bit more. And I want to do more for old patterns. Let me see what some other folks would do. And we still have a couple minutes, so still taking some requests. Let's see, what else could we use? Healing patterns. Definitely, I feel like mahogany obsidian is good for this grid. It helps a lot with looking at ourselves differently than we may have internalized, especially when it's navigating relationships and we feel less than. or when we feel like we can't move forward, we're like paralyzed with perfectionism. This came up earlier today in our other grid. And carnelian, that will also help with repeated patterns. Carnelian is an excellent stone that is one of the more multifaceted stones that can do a lot. If you're a practitioner and you're looking for like, what stones can I start out with? If I want to integrate some crystal healing and you're looking for multi-purpose stones, carnelian does quite a bit. It's excellent for that sacral chakra that I was talking about earlier, that how we relate to others, but it's excellent for relationships on all levels, and calming and cooling the connections between people. So it's excellent for like work environments where maybe it's not feeling so great. People aren't getting along so well. There's, power struggles and things like that. This can help. But it's also excellent for helping us see ourselves as enough. Same as mahogany obsidian, seeing ourselves as enough. Yeah, perfect stuff for tonight. I'm so glad. I am so glad. So what do we want to put in the middle? Awesome. Mm-hmm. This is Unakite. It's a very underutilized stone. It's a really great stone for everything about the heart, but also it's very childlike energy of feeling supported and feeling like there's an expectation that better things can happen, better things are possible than you may have experienced. Physical exhaustion, I can definitely support that. I'll add some rutilated quartz too. But yeah, this is excellent for just like when you feel like you've been a little bit emotionally battered, or you're trying to like, it's really good for making new patterns based around better experiences, and also just allowing us to expect something better. It does seem like many of us are feeling the same issues at the same time, and the longer I do community distance Reiki, the longer and the more I've seen that to be the case. It lines up with the astrology and with each other. We're often going through the same or similar things. And I'm sure it feels really good to be validated, like other people are kind of working through the same thing. It can be really helpful. It feels like you're not alone. It's really grounding to feel like, oh, I'm not the only one doing this really hard work. And it is hard work. It totally is hard work. So this is rutilated quartz. Rutilated quartz helps with lots of things. It's another like perfect multifaceted, does so many things stone. It is excellent for rejuvenating energy so you don't feel quite so exhausted. And so it's excellent for physical exhaustion, especially if that exhaustion comes on the heels of being physically sick or even injured. It's also great for like mental emotional balance and like balancing just the mind in general, and sending and getting the energy to go exactly where it needs to go. It's an excellent stone for all those things. So let's see. How about, yeah, I think we're good. I think we are good. Thank you so much for coming together and building this, and building on what was shared about how it seems like we're working on the same and similar things. Yeah, absolutely. Not surprising to me anyway. But one of the things that is at play here when we do community distance Reiki and we do this kind of a session is that of communal chi, the energy that the concept that when lots of people come together and share the same intention or are there for the same purpose, the same motivation, the greater the energy potential that's available to everyone. So even though your individual energies stay separate and protected, being here, even if it's in a digital space, allows the potential energy for healing to be greater. So this is just a physical manifestation of that for us to be here building this grid. So thank you for being here. It's an honor and a pleasure. I'm just going to take a moment and briefly talk about what Reiki is, and then I'm going to go ahead and send that energy. And thank you. I'm going to go ahead and send some Reiki energy, connect it to all of you, and shout it out to the universe, to those of you in the future who are watching this as a recording. But the style of energy work that I do most frequently is called Usui Reiki. Reiki translates roughly to spiritually guided life force energy or thereabouts. Practices of working with this energy, including sending it over a distance, are, they go back to ancient. But the style of Usui Reiki is fairly new. It's only about 100 years old, and it comes from Japan. The understanding there is that everything is interconnected and woven between all of our personal energies, our many energies that we all share. One of those being Reiki. The practice of Reiki is actually connecting with that source and directing it to other folks or ourselves, animal companions, etc., to bring more of it in. There's nothing you need to do to receive this energy, so go ahead and get nice and comfortable. Lay down, sit up, doesn't matter. You can go ahead and move around. If just relaxing and being silent isn't your thing, that's cool. You can go ahead and do some yoga, play some music, whatever works. This time is about you. This is your healing time. As we go through this, basically what I'll do is I'll connect with that energy and I'll send it to all of you to support your greatest healing good and any additional requests that you have for the universe, any healing intentions you might have. I'll keep all of our individual energies separate and protected, and then I'll just allow the energy to flow. As you experience it, it may show up any number of ways. It may be something where you feel like you're deeply relaxed, almost like in a deep meditative space. You might be thinking, your mind might be active, which is fine. You don't have to tell your mind to be quiet, although you can if you want to, if that feels like a better experience. And you don't have to focus on anything, although you can if you want to. If you do want to set another intention during the session, just bring it to mind, take a deep breath, and let it go to the universe. I'll begin momentarily, but another thing that can happen as we are receiving energy is, like I said, feeling asleep, but also feeling emotions come up or getting an active mind. Sometimes that seemingly active mind can also be intuition. So just sort of pay attention. If you'd like to get special messages from your guides, you can set that intention to come through. At the end of the half-hour session, you'll hear my voice come in. I'll invite you to take a deep breath in and out, slowly come back to your body. If at any point you sort of pop out of your meditation or your relaxation, however you use this time, you can go on about your evening. At the same time, if you would like to hang out with us till the end, which would be great, you can go ahead and ask me any questions you have at the end or in the comments if you're here on the recording. So thank you all so much for being here. As I said, it's an honor and a pleasure. There's no wrong way to use this time. This is for you. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of it. So I'm going to go ahead and turn down my microphone and bring up the music for you. I hope you have a beautiful session, and I'll see you again on the other side of it. invite you now to take a deep breath in and out. Slowly start to come back. If you'd like, you can wiggle your fingers and toes, or if you just feel comfortable being in this relaxed space, you can just stay right where you're at. Thank you so much for being here. It was an honor and a pleasure. And if you have any questions or anything to share, feel free to use the chat, or if you were watching this on the replay, go ahead and leave a comment. And the grid you all helped put together is just really powerful, really lovely. You could definitely pick up on the carnelian and the unakite for sure. So for right now, on a more timely level, we're in this, oh, you're so welcome. Thank you all so much for your requests and your support of, each other. Right now we are in the full moon in Aries, or sorry, new moon in Aries. We've got a lot of Chiron energy going on. I'm gonna, do a recorded healing for all of you to have over the next 2 weeks as we go through this waxing phase, as the moon gets bigger and bigger, and as we are working through these deep, deep old wounds. How to support yourself during that, how to make the most of it. The most important thing, though, is the simplest. Be patient with yourself. It's at least, well, it might not be the easiest, but it's certainly the most straightforward. Be patient with yourself. I'm here. You can watch any of the old streams. You can join one of the live streams. I'll be back Sunday at 8 p.m. And then I'll be back. The usual weekly is Wednesdays at 4 p.m., Thursdays at 8 a.m., Fridays at 4 and 8 p.m., and Sundays at 8 p.m., and that's East Coast U.S. time. Thank you all so, 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 so much. I'll go through the crystals again. We have unakite, carnelian, mahogany obsidian, amazonite, red tiger eye, honey calcite, copper, malachite, indigo gabbro or mystic merlinite, rutilated quartz, black tourmaline, Dalmatian jasper. And every video, as I archive it and put it in the playlist for you, I always type out the names of the crystals so that you can find the spelling if you want to look for a piece. And just know that the link to my crystal shop is in the description. If you're looking for it, something that I don't have available in stock, at least you'll be able to look for it by the spelling. But yeah, I'm so glad you all are here. So there is my free community Discord linked in the description as well. So you can go ahead and join myself and my students to kind of come in and chat and continue the conversation in there. We use it to share info back and forth, recommendations, all those kinds of things. But I'm so glad to have all of you here. Yeah, thank you. Anyone have any questions about anything or anything to share? Okay. Awesome. Well, I've also got just a couple of seats available in my Reiki 1 class for next month, which is a weekend intensive. I've got just one seat left. My Reiki 2 class is Wednesday evenings, and I have, I think, 3 seats left there. And the next Reiki Master is enrolling to start in May. So that's an 8-week online class. We meet 8 weeks in a row, and there's always ongoing support as you go and grow through that. So if you want information on that, you can just go to the link in the description. And if you haven't already, if you could like the stream, or if you would like to be reminded every time I go live, go ahead and subscribe with notifications on so that you'll get reminded every time I'm live. You can leave it running in the background while you do whatever it is you need to do in the moment. It's totally okay to multitask. And I'm so grateful again to have all of you here. I hope all of you have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening wherever you happen to be, and a beautiful weekend ahead. Thank you so much again. I'm going to go ahead and end the live part of the stream, but I will be in the comments and the description. So if you have any questions, if you want to share anything, go right ahead. I'll be there for several more minutes. And thanks again for being here today. I look forward to seeing you again. Be well and take care of yourself. Bye for now.